Welcome again. I think I've said what I had to say. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the first project that we're showing. It's Dano from the Vancouver Film School. Here he is. My name is Dano. I'm a student at the Vancouver Film School. Prior to that, I was in the advertising and the marketing industry for about 20 years. So I took a break from that so I could focus on VR and AR. So Wingspan is actually a company that I set up last week just to progress from the Vancouver Film School, for the day one after Vancouver Film School. So what I want to show you today is something that came out of my past experience in the advertising industry, but how that actually sold as fodder for content in VR. This is my third VRAR seminar this year. I've been to a couple of early ones. I've been to AWE and also the SIGGRAPH. And one of the things that really kept coming frequently, one of the key phrases, one of the key takeaways for me was the emphasis on use cases. The gist of it is this: don't build your solution around the technology. Build your solution around the use case, because technology by itself doesn't solve anything. So I tried looking at what was the use case that I could use, what was the use case that I could find a solution for. So I dug into my background in advertising, and I've had a lot of experience in the food service industry. So working with chefs and working with content for chefs, we do a lot of recipe builds, we do a lot of instructional manuals. We found out that once we produced this content and sent it across to the chef, we had actually no control over whether they used it or not. And the chefs, they are very time poor. So you can't even blame the chefs for not going through a 2-hour instructional manual. So it's out of that we actually built a solution. So let me just take you through this. So what we have built is a virtual reality chef training simulation. And we call it hands-on for now. So in a sense, it's a module-based virtual reality chef training simulation focused on cooking techniques. So we're not telling a chef how to actually do recipe builds. We're not telling him how to do a pasta, they already know that. But some of the cooking processes have specific techniques that may be defined by the cut or defined by the brand. So that's what we're focusing on. So this particular module that we've built as my final project at Vancouver Film School is on a cooking technique called the double cooking method of preparing pasta. So that's very unique to commercial environments in restaurants. And what we hope to do with this solution is, we think it'll reduce your training cost, minimize food wastage, and provide more career growth opportunities for chefs. I will elaborate on this as I go along. So the core pillars of this build is, first one, I want it to be very technique and process based, because chefs are very creative people. You don't want to go and tell them how to do it. You want to give them that freedom, but certain techniques, it's important that everybody goes through. So it's almost like a foundational layer. So the second pillar was, I wanted it to be about developing the process or the sequence of understanding. So know what comes first, what comes after that, so that you have the muscle memory built up over time. So without thinking, without knowing the instructions, okay, I have to put the pan in, next comes this. So the muscle memory build was something that I was really interested in. The third is, we wanted to be scalable and equitable. Now the thing with training with chefs is that usually the chefs who get sent for training are not the ones who need training. Most of the time, the training is a reward for doing well. So go and have a jolly, go spend a couple of days in a resort and have a good time. The ones who need the training don't have the time to get away for training. So we wanted it to be a little more equitable so that anybody who needed training could get the training. And the fourth one was reduce the kitchen wastage. See, the truth of the matter is, chefs are kind of immune to wastage. They see it all the time. But the fact of the matter is that it's a real big problem. And I'll demonstrate that as we go along. And the fifth, I wanted to be a really hyper-realistic virtual environment, because you don't want to gamify their industry. They are very proud of their craft. So we wanted to give them something that looked at par with, what was consistent with the industry they were in. So the problem was this: cuisine trends and brand-specific cooking techniques are evolving. Now what's happening is, innovation in chefs, in the hotel industry is not driven by the chefs themselves, it's driven by the brands. So brands will have a product, and they have to now get it to the chefs so that the chefs can actually work on it. So so that was one aspect of it. And traditional training methods are very expensive. So what chefs want is one-on-one training, but usually what happens is they get sent on a plane to watch a presentation en masse. And that wasn't useful. And they're often overworked and time poor, and their schedule don't allow for frequent training, and food wastage is significant. So the solution was, get food service brands to deliver the training to them. So you look at a brand saying, this is a product that I have, You buy X quantity of this, I will give you free training, simulated training on the back of this. And typically VR training gives you anywhere between 40 to 40%, and those are conservative estimates depending on which report you read. I've seen reports of 2,000 percentage of ROI. I don't know what the basis, but that's a pretty conservative estimate. And instead of taking the chefs to the training, we're basically bringing the training to the chefs. And there's no wastage. You can repeat as much as you want, and a typical simulation, this particular simulation is about 5 minutes in length. I did some research with chefs, and basically the research essentially says, yes, we have training every year. We need more training. There were just about 2 or 3 of them who said they needed training. And in terms of the mechanics, I've also, from the research, we found that 90% of chefs had never used a VR headset before. So we wanted to be very, very simple. We didn't want them to teleport around. We didn't want them to use too many buttons. So this is based on one single button interaction, and it's a room scale simulation. So you could walk around the environment as you would in a normal kitchen. So we wanted to create an environment that looked very similar to an actual virtual kitchen, where we are as of now. So it's almost like an alpha version of the demo. So I'll play this, if I can get the cursor on the screen. There we go. So as you enter your simulation, you basically have got 2 modes. One is a guided training mode, the other one is a self-paced mode. The guided training takes you through step-by-step instructions of the cooking process. So as you go, you show you some instructions there. So you click on it, and it gives you the instructions on the screen. There is a progress bar that tells you at what stage of the process you are in. And then as you finish that process, okay, that first one says basically turn to pass it the VRAR. And the intent was to make everything 100% interactable. We wanted very high affordance for the environment. So if it looks like a pan, it should act like a pan. If there's a knob, it should be turnable. So this process gives them the muscle memory that is required, and it makes them familiar with the specific cooking techniques of the brand. There you go. So this is a quick teaser video that we did. Now while you're going through that, I just want to show you some of the clear savings. I'll speak loud because I just need to show this. This specific module uses about 10 liters of water and half a kg of pasta. So if you want to visualize what 10 liters of water and half a kg of water looks like, this is 10 liters of water, and this is half a kg of pasta. Now if you want to quantify that, I might as well throw this away if this was in real life. Now there's a value to this. It costs about roughly $10 to actually get this done. So each simulation saved you $10 in just cost, in addition to the material savings. So if you are looking at, let's say, 3 simulations a day, that's roughly about $1,000 of savings per headset. Now if you add more modules and increase the number of headsets, it's very easy to see the value that this brings in. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to present. Hands on.